Hello students, welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. We are discussing some important questions for term 2 boards these days, and this is the third video in the series. If you haven't watched the initial two videos, please do watch them. Every question counts. Question number 1 that I have picked for you is, what is the chemical nature of biogas? Name an organism which is involved in the biogas production. So they are asking us the composition of the biogas. Please do include these three definitely, and you can also write that the trace amount of hydrogen sulfide is also there. So methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen gas, and a little amount of H2S can also be written. Methanobacteria, which belongs to a class of methanogens, they help in producing the methane gas. So name an organism is methanobacteria, right? Please do read out both the parts and answer them separately. Question number 2 is asking, what are viruses parasiting the bacteria? Draw a well-labeled diagram of the same. That means they are asking us here about the bacteriophages, and you remember bacteriophages are the viruses that attack the bacteria. That we have already done in the Hershey and Chase experiment also. So mention bacteriophages, and these viruses do not actually eat bacteria, but they use the machinery of the bacteria to replicate themselves, right? Because these are viruses, they would be requiring host machinery to replicate themselves. So structure was also being told to you in grade 11. Again, it is divided into head, collar, and a sheath that internally has a protein around it, and these are the tail fibers. So if you are making bacteriophage, please do make up these structures, that the collar should definitely be there, and then here a sheath will be drawn, right? And at the bottom you need to draw the tail fibers. So the head has capsid outside. Capsid is made up of capsomeres, which is proteinous in nature, and internally the genetic material is there. So this is the genetic material, right? Now let's move on to another question, and this is question number 3, which is asking us, what would happen if large volume of untreated sewage is discharged into a river? So if untreated sewage means untreated sewage would be the one that will have BOD value high, and DO or dissolved oxygen content will be low, because we know that BOD is inversely proportional to DO. So if BOD, biochemical oxygen demand in the water, is high, that means the level of the water is polluted, and it has low dissolved oxygen content, that means that it is not good for the aquatic organisms. And even if you leave such water directly into the river, waterborne diseases will also increase. So that's what written here. If untreated sewage is discharged directly into the river, of course pollution is going to happen, because the water itself is polluted. Why is it polluted? Because it has biochemical oxygen demand high and DO or dissolved oxygen low. And pathogenic bacteria will grow in such water. As a result, waterborne diseases will also be high. In question number 3, part B, in what way anaerobic sludge digestion is important in sewage treatment? So anaerobic sludge digestion was the RAS process. Here the spelling of digestion is wrong. So anaerobic sludge digestion was the last process, which was quite helpful because it digested aerobic bacteria or flocks which were not in use at that time. So remaining organic matter and the aerobic bacteria or flocks were being digested by anaerobic bacteria, thus they were helpful. Same is being written here also. In anaerobic sludge digestion, anaerobic bacteria digest the aerobic bacteria and fungi. That means they are talking about flocks here. And remaining organic matter is digested. Remember, whenever the organic matter will be digested, the BOD of the water will automatically become low and the water will become non-polluted. So sewage treatment plant was basically explained to you because they wanted to make the BOD less. So this is a practical situation which is being done under various plants. Next is, what would happen if our intestine harbors microbial flora exactly similar to that found in the rumen of cattle. When they're talking about rumen of cattle, that means they're talking about their stomach. And their rumen stomach, it has 4 parts, and that is why it is known as ruminant stomach. Right? You remember that they have methanogens. Microbial flora means they are talking about the microscopic organisms. So methanogens are being found in the stomach of the cattle. That is why they are being excreted out in their excreta, and these methanogens help in producing the biogas. We have already studied the composition of the biogas, that it has methane, it has carbon dioxide, hydrogen gas, and little amounts of H2S. So if our microbial flora will be similar to that of the rumen of the cattle, then we will be able to digest cellulose, which is one thing, and another thing, we will also be producing biogas, because methanogens help in producing methane gas, which is the primary component of the biogas, right? So read everything what is being asked, and do not skip any part while answering, because skipping means you will lose marks on that specific part. Next question is question number 5, and it is asking us what are broad spectrum antibiotics. Name one such antibiotic. Remember, in grade 11 we studied that bacteria falls under 2 categories. It could be gram positive or it could be gram negative depending upon the stain they took. So Gram was the scientist who stained the bacteria and then they decolorize it. So crystal violet was the stain, and after decolorization, if the bacteria retained the stain, it was gram positive, and the bacteria that lost the stain was gram negative. So broad spectrum antibiotics are the one that have wide range, means they can act on wide range of bacteria, and these bacteria would be gram positive and gram negative, right? So what is a broad spectrum antibiotic? Broad spectrum antibiotic is a one that acts on both gram positive and gram negative. So it includes the cephalosporins. So this is under the 4th generation antibiotic, cephalosporin. So you can give the example of tetracyclines, you can give the examples of cephalosporins under broad spectrum antibiotic. What would happen to immune system? Immune system means this question is from chapter 8, right? And this antibiotic question is from chapter 10. What would happen? This question was from chapter 10, okay? So please do relate and answer your question as per the text which is given in each chapter. What would happen to immune system if thymus is removed from the body of the person? Now see here, thymus gland is one of the important gland and it serves as primary lymphoid organ. And primary lymphoid organ is a one in which basically maturation and differentiation of the lymphocytes happen. When we are talking about thymus, in thymus basically T lymphocytes, they mature and they differentiate. So T lymphocytes play a very important role in the immune system because they are the ones that will help in cell mediated immunity. And remember, cell mediated immunity is also involved in humoral immunity indirectly because B lymphocytes gets converted to plasma cell once helper T lymphocytes produces lymphokines. So if thymus is removed, there will be scarcity of T lymphocytes in the body, means the cell mediated immunity of a person will be affected. Overall, as a result, humoral immunity will also be affected. So if thymus gland is removed from the body, his immune system will become weak and that person will be prone to the diseases. Remember, if this question comes for 2 to 3 marks, please include all the key terms that I have told you. So you need to explain everything, that thymus is a primary lymphoid organ. It helps in maturation and differentiation of the T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are a part of cell mediated immunity, and it also helps in the humoral immunity because lymphokines are the chemicals which are being produced by helper T cells, and they help in converting the B cell to the plasma cells. So plasma cell, what is it? Plasma cell is a B cell that produces the antibodies. So this is all for this video. Stay connected for more videos, for more questions that will certainly be helpful to you. Don't forget to share my channel with others. Stay connected. Thank you.